Captain Anna Wells felt the gentle hum of the human ship Odyssey as it slowed near the atmosphere of the strange, green planet below. The view from the cockpit was unlike anything she had ever seen. Rolling forests glowed faintly, and rivers sparkled with a strange, soft light. Mountains in the distance seemed to shimmer under the sun, which had a faint blue tint. She could feel her excitement building. This planet had never been explored before by humans, and she was the first to set foot on it. Behind her, Engineer Ethan Cole adjusted some instruments. He leaned over a console, checking readings of the planet's air, gravity, and surface composition. "Captain, readings are stable. Oxygen levels are safe. Gravity is slightly lower than Earth's, about 0.85 g," he said. His calm voice helped Anna focus. Exploration always made her nervous, but Ethan's presence was reassuring. Medic Clara Reed entered the cockpit next. She was carrying the small medical pack that contained the basic tools they needed for field research. Clara was nervous, but she always tried to hide it. "Captain, I've checked our health monitors. No signs of contamination so far," she said. Her eyes were wide with awe as she stared at the planet. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Anna nodded, looking at the glowing forests below. "Beautiful, yes. But we must remember why we are here," she said. Her voice was firm. "Our mission is to collect samples, study the environment, and gather data. Nothing more." She knew the team needed to stay focused, even though the world below called to them with its strange colors and soft, glowing lights. The Odyssey began its descent slowly. The soft hum of the engines filled the cockpit. Anna adjusted the controls, making sure the landing was smooth. The ship touched down gently on a flat, grassy area near the edge of the glowing forest. Dust rose from the landing site, sparkling in the soft light. Anna took a deep breath. She felt the slight thrill of danger. Every time humans stepped onto a new planet, there was risk. Every step could be the first human to fall. Once the ship doors opened, the team stepped onto the alien soil. Anna led the way, her boots sinking slightly into the soft, mossy ground. Ethan followed with a small toolkit in his hands, ready to analyze rocks and soil. Clara carried the medical pack, eyes scanning the area for anything unusual. The air smelled fresh, slightly sweet, with a hint of something metallic. It made Anna wrinkle her nose, but she smiled. It was strange but not unpleasant. They moved slowly, carefully. Glowing plants lined the area, with leaves that shimmered like glass in the light. Strange, small creatures scuttled among the plants. Anna crouched down to take a closer look. One creature, small and luminescent, had 6 legs and a tail that glowed like fire. It paused and looked at her with bright eyes. It seemed curious rather than afraid. Anna reached out slowly, holding a scanner in her hand. She wanted to measure its life signs. The creature moved quickly, faster than she expected. Before she could react, it bit her on the forearm. Pain shot through her arm, sharp and sudden. She gasped but quickly controlled her reaction. "It's just a bite," she muttered to herself. Her training kicked in. She carefully examined the bite. There was a small, glowing mark left by the creature's fangs. Ethan and Clara rushed over. "Anna, are you okay?" Clara asked, her voice full of concern. Ethan's eyes were wide. Anna smiled faintly, shaking her head. "I'm fine. It's not deep. But we need to analyze this. This creature's venom, it's powerful. I can feel it in my arm, but it doesn't feel immediately dangerous to me." She carefully held out her arm, letting the small creature scuttle back into the glowing plants. Clara pulled out the medical scanner from her pack. "Let me check," she said, moving her hands quickly over Anna's arm. Numbers and graphs appeared on a small display. Her eyes widened. "Anna, this venom. Incredibly strong. It could be deadly to almost any other species, especially alien life." Anna raised an eyebrow but remained calm. "Not to me apparently," she said softly. She studied the small wound and let out a small breath. Her heart was racing, but she didn't panic. Humans had strong immune systems. She had trained for situations like this. She trusted her body. Ethan stepped closer, looking at the glowing forest around them. "Captain, we should be careful. This planet, everything here could be dangerous. That creature was small, but that venom—" He trailed off, unsure how to finish the sentence. Anna nodded. "I know. That's why we move slowly and carefully. Every plant, every creature could hold surprises. But fear won't help us. Curiosity will." Her words were calm, but they carried strength. She was not afraid, and that gave her team confidence. She walked slowly toward the glowing plants again. Her arm throbbed slightly, but she ignored it. She used a small scanner to measure the chemical composition of the plant near where the creature had appeared. The leaves emitted a soft light, pulsing gently as if the plant was alive in a way humans had never seen before. Anna took careful notes. Clara continued to monitor Anna's condition. "The venom isn't spreading quickly," she said after a few minutes. "You're lucky. Most species wouldn't survive this." Anna smiled faintly. "Humans are lucky, yes. But also adaptable. We survive in places nothing else can. That's why we explore." She looked at the glowing forest, her eyes shining with wonder. Hours passed as they collected samples. Anna was careful with every movement. She touched the glowing leaves, observed tiny insects crawling among the plants and took soil samples. Each moment was filled with new discoveries. Even with the bite, she felt a thrill she had never felt on Earth. Every step was exciting, every sight beautiful. By the time the sun, or what looked like a sun, began to set, the team gathered near the ship. The sky turned soft blue, with streaks of pink and purple. Glowing creatures emerged as night fell, lighting up the forest like tiny lanterns. Anna felt a deep sense of wonder. This planet was alive in ways humans had never imagined. Ethan spoke softly, almost to himself. "I've never seen anything like this." Anna placed a hand on his shoulder. "Neither have I. And that's why we are here. To see what no one else has seen. To survive where others might fail. Humans, we are made for this." Clara nodded, still scanning Anna's arm. "You're amazing, Captain. That venom, it should have hurt you more." Anna only smiled again. "That's the thing about humans, Clara. We endure. We adapt. We survive." She looked out into the glowing forest, feeling the weight and wonder of their discovery. The world below was full of life, some dangerous, some beautiful. She knew there were challenges ahead, but she also knew that humans had something special. Something that could face any danger, even a venom that could end alien life. As night fell completely, Anna stood near the ship, looking at the strange, glowing world around her. She felt a quiet pride. She had survived her first encounter, and she had learned more than she could have imagined. Tomorrow would bring more discoveries, more challenges, and maybe more dangers. But she would face them all. She was human, and humans survived where others might fail. High above the planet, in the silent expanse of space, the Thrillians watched. Their station floated like a silver crystal, its curved walls glowing faintly. Inside, rows of screens displayed live images from the surface below. Every movement of the humans was visible. The Thrillians had never seen a species quite like this before. They were cautious, curious, and above all, afraid. The main observation chamber was filled with Thrillians of every shape. Some were tall and thin, with long limbs and eyes that reflected the light like polished stone. Others were smaller, with multiple sets of arms and delicate, almost fragile-looking exoskeletons. All of them were tense as the live feed showed Anna Wells walking carefully through the glowing forest, her team behind her. "The venom, it is in her blood," one of the Thrillians said. Its voice was soft, like wind passing over ice. "It is lethal. It could destroy our species if it touched us." The words sent a shiver through the room. Even the smallest Thrillian seemed to shrink back slightly, their multiple limbs trembling. Another Thrillian, taller than the first, leaned over a console and analyzed the data. "Yes," it said, its voice stronger but filled with caution. "The chemical composition is unlike anything we have seen. It is designed to attack biological systems efficiently. Any other life form here would not survive even a drop in the bloodstream. But the human, she moves, she breathes, she lives." They watched Anna as she crouched to examine a glowing plant, her arm still showing the small mark from the bite. Her calmness was confusing. Her movements were deliberate, not panicked, as if she understood that her life was at risk but did not fear it. The Thrillians were puzzled. No creature they knew could endure venom of such strength without showing immediate signs of distress. A young Thrillian scientist moved forward, scanning the human's movements. "Why does she not collapse? Why does she not show fear or weakness?" It asked aloud, more to itself than to anyone else. The others looked at it, their glowing eyes wide with uncertainty. The leader of the chamber, an older Thrillian with a shell-like crown, observed silently. Its mind worked quickly, analyzing possibilities. Humans, perhaps their biology is different. Perhaps they are resistant in ways we do not understand. Perhaps their immune systems are stronger or more adaptive. But it is not only the body. Look at her mind. Indeed, Anna's mind was calm even in danger. The Thrillians could detect her thoughts to some extent through the subtle energy fields emitted by her neural activity. They could feel her curiosity, her careful observation of the world around her, and her confidence in her own survival. It was not arrogance but a quiet certainty, and it made the Thrillians uneasy. "She examines the environment," another Thrillian whispered. "She is not afraid. She is learning, understanding, controlling the situation." The leader nodded. "Yes. Humans are unpredictable. They survive where other creatures fail. And this one, she faces a threat that would kill most species instantly, yet she smiles. This is dangerous. More dangerous than we anticipated." The Thrillians leaned closer to the screens. They replayed the moment of the bite again and again, analyzing every movement. The small creature's fangs pierced the skin, venom entered the blood, and the human reacted, but only with curiosity and calm. No panic, no screaming, no fear. She simply examined her arm, measured the effect, and continued her exploration. Some younger Thrillians were visibly shaking. "This is not natural," one said. "No species should survive this." And yet, she walks. She studies. She moves forward. "Her body adapts quickly," the leader explained. "Her cells may neutralize the venom. Her immune system may respond faster than we can detect. But it is not only biology that is remarkable. It is her mind. She does not panic. She does not flee. She continues to act with intelligence and purpose. That is why she survives." The scientists continued to watch for hours. They observed Anna taking samples, testing the soil and plants, and even moving cautiously around small predators that scurried in the glowing underbrush. She never hesitated, never froze. Every decision was quick, efficient, and deliberate. Ethan and Clara were cautious, but Anna's calm reassured them. The Thrillians could feel it even from far away. Her confidence radiated like a force field, influencing the humans around her. Every time she smiled, every time she carefully handled a plant or tested the soil, it sent a signal that she was in control. And the Thrillians were starting to fear that control. A debate began among them. "Should we intervene?" one Thrillian asked. "She carries venom that could annihilate our kind. If she discovers our presence, she could harm us without realizing it." The leader shook its head. "No. Intervention may provoke a response. Observe only. Learn what humans are capable of. They may be stronger than our science predicts." "Yes," another agreed. "But her calmness, it is unsettling. No species we have catalogued shows such behavior under mortal threat. If humans are like this, we may have underestimated them entirely." The chamber fell silent as the Thrillians watched Anna walk deeper into the forest. She paused to examine a strange flower, holding it in her hand as if it were a simple rock. The glow of the petals reflected in her eyes and she smiled softly. Her body remained unaffected by the venom, her arm showing only a small mark. The Thrillians began running complex simulations, trying to understand the limits of human resilience. Each calculation ended in uncertainty. Humans adapted too quickly, made decisions too fast, and survived situations that would destroy any other life form. Even when the venom should have incapacitated her, she continued her exploration with purpose. One of the older Thrillians whispered almost reverently, "She smiles, despite the danger. She faces death, yet she smiles. Why would a species choose to face danger calmly?" "She is remarkable," another said. "Not only strong but intelligent and fearless. Perhaps their survival depends not only on biology, but on their courage and mind. That is something no other species possesses at this level." The Thrillians realized that they were witnessing something rare. Humans were not only capable of enduring deadly threats, they approached danger as if it were a challenge, a puzzle to solve. They did not run, they did not panic. They observed, they analyzed, and they adapted. The leader of the chamber finally spoke. "We must take note of this. Humans are not ordinary life forms. Their strength is not only in the body but in the mind. Their ability to endure lethal threats without fear. This may make them more dangerous than we ever imagined. We must continue to observe. Learn everything. And never underestimate them." 4 hours the Thrillians watched Anna and her team. Every movement was noted, every reaction analyzed. She tested the soil, took samples of glowing plants, and even gently poked at small creatures with her scanner. Nothing in her behavior suggested fear. She seemed to be learning about the world, not from a place of survival, but from curiosity and confidence. Ethan and Clara followed her carefully, both aware of the danger but trusting Anna's lead. From the Thrillians' perspective, the humans were almost alien in themselves. They were fragile, yes, but they had a quality that no other species possessed: the ability to face lethal threats and remain calm, intelligent, and curious. As the sun, or the planet's strange glowing star, began to set. Anna paused to observe a small pond. Tiny lights flickered beneath the water, like stars reflected on its surface. She smiled again, a quiet smile of wonder, and the Thrillians watched, filled with a mixture of fear and awe. They realized that humans like Anna Wells could survive anywhere, confront any danger, and remain composed. They understood that human strength was not only in their bodies, but in their minds and spirits. And for the first time, the Thrillians wondered if humans were more than just another species. They might be a force of life unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Anna Wells moved carefully through the glowing forest, her arm still showing the small mark from the creature's bite. The pain was minimal now, more of a dull throb than a sharp sting. She knelt down and opened her portable lab kit, which she always carried for situations exactly like this. Inside were vials, small instruments, and a basic analyzer. She set up her tools on a flat patch of moss, making sure nothing was contaminated. Her hands moved quickly but carefully. Every motion was deliberate. Ethan and Clara watched her work. Ethan adjusted a small scanner, checking the surrounding area for any threats. Clara kept monitoring Anna's arm with the medical device. "Captain, the venom is still in your bloodstream," Clara said, her voice quiet but urgent. "It's spreading very slowly, but we don't know how dangerous it could be if it interacts with the local plants or creatures." Anna nodded without looking up. "I understand. That's why I'm making a counteragent. We need to neutralize the venom in case it reacts unpredictably." She measured tiny amounts of liquid from one vial and mixed it with another. Her movements were precise. She studied the chemical reactions carefully, noting every color change and reaction in her small notebook. "This is amazing," Ethan said, leaning closer. "You're making something that could protect not just you, but anyone else who gets bitten by that creature." Anna smiled faintly. "Humans survive because we think quickly. Our bodies are strong, but our minds are even stronger. If we understand the problem, we can solve it. That's why we survive where others might fail." Clara's eyes widened. "You make it sound so easy. But it's dangerous. Any wrong step and this could backfire." Anna glanced at her teammates and nodded. "I know. That's why I move carefully. But we don't panic. Fear slows us down. Curiosity and calmness make us strong." As Anna worked on the counteragent, a movement caught Ethan's eye. From behind the glowing plants, a small figure emerged. It moved silently and cautiously, watching the humans. Its skin was smooth and pale, reflecting the soft light of the plants. Its eyes were large, black, and unblinking. It was an alien scout. Anna noticed it too. She didn't freeze. She didn't step back. She continued mixing her substances while keeping one eye on the scout. The alien seemed to hesitate, unsure if it should approach. Anna smiled faintly at it, showing no fear. Her confidence radiated outward, and the scout could feel it even from a short distance. The alien moved closer, testing them. Its movements were deliberate, almost cautious. It circled the humans, studying them, trying to understand if they were a threat. Anna stayed calm. She did not raise her weapon or make sudden movements. She let the alien observe her, letting it see that she was in control. Ethan whispered to Clara, "It's like it's testing us, trying to see if we're dangerous." Clara nodded slowly. "I've never seen anything like this. Most species would react aggressively if they saw humans with that kind of venom. But Anna, she doesn't react like any creature I know." Anna finished mixing the final solution. She carefully poured a small amount into a syringe and injected it into her arm. She monitored the reaction, noting how her body processed the counteragent. Within minutes, the dull pain from the bite lessened further, and the small swelling disappeared. She smiled again, feeling stronger, more confident. The alien scout moved closer, its large black eyes fixed on Anna. She stood slowly, holding the syringe in one hand but keeping her posture relaxed. She did not raise it as a weapon. Instead, she used it as a tool, a sign of intelligence rather than threat. The scout tilted its head, clearly confused. Most species, it seemed, would panic or attack in this situation. But Anna's calmness, her ability to act quickly and think logically, unnerved the alien. It had expected humans to be fragile, weak, or fearful. Instead, it found a creature that could endure venom, create a counteragent, and remain perfectly calm under observation. Anna spoke softly, almost as if to herself, but loud enough for the scout to hear. "You're curious, aren't you? Trying to understand us. That's fine. I don't mean to hurt you." Her voice was gentle, calm, but confident. She wanted the scout to know she was in control, but also that she was not a threat unless provoked. The alien paused, unsure of what to do. Anna took a step forward slowly, her movements careful and deliberate. The scout tilted its head again. It seemed to be learning, trying to predict her next action. Anna smiled faintly and made a small gesture with her hand, showing that she meant no harm. Ethan and Clara watched in awe. "She's incredible," Ethan whispered. "She's not afraid of it and she's not attacking. She's interacting." Clara nodded. "Humans have this ability to think and act in dangerous situations. That's why we survive. Most species would run, fight, or freeze. Anna, she adapts." Anna crouched again, opening her lab kit and carefully packing her tools. She made sure nothing was left behind that could be dangerous or contaminated. Her movements were smooth and precise. The alien scout stayed nearby, observing but did not move closer. It seemed cautious, almost respectful. The sun, or what passed for a sun on this planet, began to dip lower in the sky. Shadows stretched across the glowing forest, and tiny creatures began to emerge, lighting up the undergrowth with small, flickering lights. Anna, Ethan, and Clara continued their careful work, collecting samples and observing the environment. Anna's counteragent worked perfectly. Her body processed the venom efficiently, neutralizing it before it could spread further. She felt a quiet satisfaction. "Another problem solved," she said softly. "Another step forward in understanding this planet and surviving it." The alien scout moved slightly closer, curious but cautious. Anna continued her work, completely focused, completely calm. She was a human in her element, observing, analyzing, solving problems. The scout's black eyes reflected the faint glow of the forest, and it seemed to sense that this human was not ordinary. Hours passed as Anna carefully tested more samples and monitored her condition. She noticed small details in the forest that others might have missed. Patterns in the glowing plants, the way insects moved in groups, the subtle changes in air currents. Every observation was recorded in her notebook. Ethan commented quietly, "She's learning faster than I expected. Every action she takes, every reaction to the venom, she adapts immediately. That's why humans survive." Clara nodded, still scanning Anna's arm. "Most species wouldn't last 10 minutes after a bite like that. But she's creating solutions as she goes. That's human ingenuity." Anna finally stood and looked at the alien scout. She smiled softly, giving it a calm, confident look. The scout backed away slightly as if unsure how to respond. Anna nodded at Ethan and Clara, signaling that it was time to move forward. As they walked deeper into the glowing forest, Anna reflected silently on the encounter. She thought about the venom, the counteragent, and the alien observer. Every challenge was an opportunity. Every danger could be solved with careful thought and action. Humans were strong not only because of their bodies but because of their minds. That combination made them unpredictable, capable of survival where other species would fail. The alien scout stayed at a distance, still watching them carefully. Anna did not glance back. She continued forward with calm determination. Her mind was alert, her body ready. She understood the danger, but she did not fear it. Humans thrived because they faced danger, understood it, and acted intelligently. By the time night fell fully, the team had collected multiple samples, and Anna had tested the counteragent's effects thoroughly. The alien scout remained hidden in the shadows, still observing but not interfering. Anna felt a sense of quiet pride. She had turned a dangerous situation into an opportunity. She had faced venom, created a solution, and demonstrated the human ability to survive against the odds. She glanced at Ethan and Clara. "We did well today," she said softly. "We survived, we learned, and we adapted. That's what humans do." Ethan smiled, still amazed by her calmness and intelligence. "I've never seen anyone like you, Anna. Most would panic." Anna smiled back, a quiet, confident smile. "That's the difference. Humans survive because we think, because we adapt, because we never give up. That's our strength." As they settled near the ship for the night, Anna looked out into the glowing forest. Tiny lights flickered in the darkness, shadows danced across the trees, and the alien scout watched silently. She felt a quiet thrill of excitement. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, more discoveries, and perhaps more danger. But she was ready. Humans survived not because they were the strongest, but because they were the smartest, the bravest, and the most adaptable. And Anna Wells embodied all of those traits. Anna Wells, Ethan Cole, and Clara Reed walked slowly into the massive chamber of the Thrillian station. The walls glowed faintly with an alien light that seemed to shift and move like liquid. The air was slightly heavy, carrying an unfamiliar scent that made Anna wrinkle her nose. She did not show fear. Her steps were calm, deliberate, her eyes scanning the room. Every movement of the Thrillians was designed to intimidate, but she remained composed. The Thrillians were waiting. Their long limbs, smooth skin and dark, reflective eyes made them seem larger and more threatening than they actually were. Some of them had multiple arms folded across their chests, while others hovered slightly above the floor on strange anti-gravity pads. Their entire presence was meant to make the humans feel small, weak, and vulnerable. Anna stopped a few steps from the center of the room, where the leader of the Thrillians floated on a slightly higher platform. It was taller than the others, its eyes glowing brighter, and its voice resonated in the chamber like a deep hum. "Humans," it said, the tone carrying a subtle warning. "You walk on our world with dangerous power. You survive where no other species could. You carry venom in your blood that could destroy us. And yet you come here unafraid. Why?" Anna's lips curved into a faint, confident smile. She did not lower her gaze. Instead, she lifted her head higher. "We come to understand," she said, her voice calm and steady. "We come to learn, not to fight. But humans adapt. We think. We act. And we survive even when the odds seem impossible." The Thrillians exchanged glances. Some shifted uneasily, their multiple arms twitching as they murmured to one another. They had studied many species across the galaxy, but none had reacted like this. Most creatures would have panicked or tried to flee the moment they realized the danger. Anna's calm defiance unsettled them. The leader's voice rose slightly. "Your species is unusual. You survive venom that would kill most creatures instantly. You act without fear. You think quickly and solve problems under threat. Do you not understand the danger you face?" Anna shook her head slightly, maintaining her calm. "We do understand danger. But understanding it is not the same as fearing it. Fear can paralyze you. Curiosity, courage, and intelligence, they make humans strong. We do not rely solely on strength or speed. We use our minds. That is why we survive." A younger Thrillian moved closer to the humans, its eyes studying Anna carefully. "But your survival, it is unusual. Your calm, it is not natural. Most species cannot act this way under mortal threat." Anna smiled again. "Perhaps not. But humans are different. We have faced danger for centuries, on our home planet, in space, everywhere. We have adapted to survive harsh environments, unknown threats, and challenges that would destroy others. That is our nature." The Thrillians tried to show power. They created holographic projections around the chamber, images of humans in previous encounters with dangerous species and environments. Some images showed humans injured, others showed them in life-threatening situations. Their purpose was clear: to intimidate and test the humans' reaction. Ethan and Clara stiffened slightly at the images, but Anna did not flinch. She studied them carefully, noting the intentions behind each projection. "You think these images will scare us," she said softly. "But humans do not fear what has already been studied. We learn from danger. We adapt. And then we continue forward." The leader of the Thrillians tilted its head, a gesture of thought. "You speak of intelligence, but you underestimate the power of your opponents. The venom in your blood, the hazards on your planet, we can end you if you act carelessly." Anna met its gaze steadily. "We do not act carelessly. Every action is measured. Every danger is analyzed. Humans survive because we think faster than threats appear. We adapt instantly. That is why we succeed where others fail." The Thrillians were silent for a moment. They had never encountered a species that combined courage, intelligence, and calmness in this way. Most species relied on instinct or physical power. Humans relied on their minds, their ability to act with reason, and their willingness to face the unknown. A murmur ran through the Thrillians. Some seemed impressed, others wary. Their multiple arms moved in slight gestures, subtle signs of nervousness. The leader's eyes glowed slightly brighter as it studied Anna. It realized that intimidation might not work on this species. Humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was dangerous. Anna took a step closer, her posture relaxed but confident. "We do not come to harm you," she said. "But we will not be intimidated. We adapt. We learn. And we survive. That is the human way." The leader tilted its head slightly, a signal that it was considering her words. The projections around the chamber faded, leaving only the humans and the Thrillians in the glowing room. Anna did not move, did not falter. She waited patiently, her calmness a silent challenge. A younger Thrillian whispered to another, its voice almost trembling. "This human, she is fearless. And clever. She meets danger and turns it into advantage. We have never seen anything like it." Another Thrillian responded softly, "Her species, they are unpredictable. That is frightening. Yet, impressive." Anna watched them, observing their reactions carefully. She knew that humans were at a disadvantage physically. They were smaller, weaker than most species in terms of raw strength, but that did not matter. Strength was not the measure of survival. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability were. And humans had all three in abundance. The leader finally spoke again. You, humans, you do not respond as expected. Your calmness, your intelligence, your courage, it is dangerous. You could survive almost anything. Why are you here? Anna's smile widened slightly, still calm, still composed. We are explorers. That is all. We seek knowledge. But knowledge requires facing danger. Humans survive by thinking, by adapting, by confronting what others fear. That is why we are here. That is why we will continue to survive. The Thrillians were quiet, processing her words. They realized that the humans were not ordinary. They were not fragile or predictable. Humans were dangerous because they could endure threats, understand them, and respond intelligently. That combination made them a species unlike any other. Ethan and Clara watched the interaction silently. Ethan whispered, "Anna, you're incredible. Most species would have panicked or attacked. But you faced them with calmness and intelligence." Clara nodded. "It's more than bravery. It's human ingenuity. That's why we survive." Anna turned slightly to face her teammates, her smile never fading. "Exactly. We face danger, understand it, and adapt. That is what makes humans strong. And that is why we are still standing here, while others would have fallen long ago." The leader of the Thrillians finally lowered its arms slightly. It seemed unsure how to proceed. Its species had always relied on fear, power, and intimidation to control weaker species. But these humans did not respond as expected. Their calm defiance, their intelligence, and their courage left the aliens unsure, even impressed. Anna stepped back slightly, signaling to Ethan and Clara that it was time to leave. "We have learned much today," she said softly. "And we will continue to learn. But we will do so without fear, without hesitation. That is the human way." The Thrillians remained quiet, watching the humans retreat. They understood something important. These humans were different. They were not merely survivors. They were adaptable, intelligent, and courageous. Their calm defiance had turned intimidation into observation. The aliens were unsure, impressed, and cautious all at once. As the humans returned to their ship, the Thrillians continued to watch. They would report their findings to their leaders. Humans were dangerous, yes, but in a way that demanded respect. Every movement, every word, every calm smile of Anna Wells demonstrated that humans were not ordinary. They could face danger, adapt instantly, and survive where others might fail. Anna looked back once at the glowing chamber. She smiled faintly. Her calmness, intelligence, and courage had spoken louder than any words. The humans were still small in size, but in spirit and mind they were formidable. And the Thrillians had learned, perhaps for the first time, that underestimating a human could be a grave mistake. The Thrillians gathered quietly in the main chamber after the humans had left. Their glowing eyes reflected a mixture of awe, fear, and admiration. For the first time in their long history of observing species across the galaxy, they had encountered beings that were not just survivors but something more. Humans, they realized, were unpredictable, intelligent, and courageous. The events of the past hours had shown them that no simulation, no data, and no observation could fully capture the true nature of humans. The leader of the Thrillians, its crown-like shell glinting in the pale light, addressed the assembly. "The humans are unlike any species we have encountered. Their minds are quick, their courage unmatched, and their ability to adapt to danger is remarkable. They survive where others would fail. They think, they learn, and they endure. We must record this in all our databases. Humans are a uniquely formidable species." A younger Thrillian, still visibly shaken by the human's calmness and intelligence, whispered to another, "Did you see how she handled the venom? Most creatures would have been dead or paralyzed. And yet, she not only survived, she created a solution and remained composed. That level of intelligence, it is terrifying." The others murmured in agreement. They realized that humans were not simply lucky, they were methodical, clever, and brave. Anna's ability to face deadly venom, alien scouts, and threats from the Thrillians themselves, all while remaining calm and focused, had fundamentally challenged everything the Thrillians thought they knew about survival and strength. Meanwhile, on the planet's surface, Anna, Ethan, and Clara made their way back to the human ship, the Odyssey. The glowing forest stretched around them, alive with flickering lights and soft rustling sounds. Night had fallen, and the bioluminescent plants glimmered softly under the alien sky. Every step reminded Anna of the dangers they had faced, Yet she felt a quiet pride. Her team had survived, and they had learned more about this world than they ever imagined. Ethan glanced at her, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the forest. "Captain, we made it. I can't believe how calm you stayed the entire time. Even with the Venom, the alien scout, everything. You never faltered." Anna smiled faintly. "Calmness is not just for me, Ethan. It is for all of us. Fear makes mistakes. Courage and careful thinking make us strong. That is how humans survive. That is why we adapt, why we explore, and why we endure." Clara, still scanning the area for potential hazards, nodded. "It's not just bravery. It's intelligence too. You turn danger into learning, Captain. That's human ingenuity." The team reached the Odyssey and climbed aboard. Anna carefully sealed the doors behind them. The ship hummed as the engines powered up, lifting them slowly from the glowing surface. Below, the alien forest stretched endlessly, full of beauty and hidden threats. Above, the Thrillians watched from their station, their discussions continuing in low murmurs. "They survived," one elder Thrillian said, its voice tinged with disbelief. "They survived where almost nothing else could. And they did so with intelligence and calm. This species, it is unlike any we have catalogued. We underestimated them." Another nodded slowly. "They are dangerous, yes, but not in the way we expected. They do not attack recklessly. They adapt. They learn. They survive. That is power beyond anything we anticipated." From her seat in the cockpit, Anna adjusted the controls, guiding the Odyssey through the soft blue atmosphere. She looked out at the alien world below, marveling at the glowing forests, the strange rivers, and the twinkling creatures that moved like tiny stars across the landscape. She felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had faced danger, survived it, and learned from it. The Venom, the alien scouts, and even the intimidation of the Thrillians had not stopped them. Ethan leaned back in his seat. "I've never seen anything like it. That alien station, they were trying to scare us, but you didn't even flinch. You stayed calm the whole time. That's why we survived." Anna nodded. "That's exactly it. Fear clouds judgment. It slows you down. Humans survive because we think, we act, and we adapt. Danger is an opportunity, not a limit. We learn from it and we grow stronger." Clara added quietly, "And you showed them, the Thrillians, that humans are more than just small, fragile creatures. We are capable, intelligent, and brave. That counts for something, Captain." Anna smiled softly, looking back at the glowing world one last time. The Thrillians were observing, learning, and perhaps even respecting them in ways they had never respected any other species. She felt a quiet satisfaction. Humans were not just survivors, they were remarkable in ways few others could understand. The Odyssey lifted higher, breaking through the planet's thin clouds and into the soft blue of the upper atmosphere. Anna glanced at the distant horizon, the alien skies painted in faint hues of purple and green. She thought of the challenges they had faced, the venom that could have ended them, and the alien forces that had tried to intimidate them. And yet, here they were, alive and scathed and wiser than before. "Captain, do you think the Thrillians understand us now?" Ethan asked. Anna considered for a moment, her eyes still on the planet below. "I think they do in their own way," she said softly. "They saw how we adapt, how we think, and how we survive. They may not fully understand, but they know we are not ordinary. They know humans are formidable." Clara leaned back, relaxing for the first time since landing. "Formidable, that's a good word for it. Humans survived where almost nothing else could. And we did it because of calm thinking, courage, and adaptability. That's incredible." Anna smiled faintly again, feeling the weight of her words. "Yes, it is incredible. That's what makes humans unique. Not just our strength, not just our skills, but our ability to face danger, learn from it, and survive. That is why we endure." The ship moved smoothly through the thin clouds, leaving the glowing planet behind. Below them, the forests and rivers seemed smaller now, but no less beautiful. The Thrillians watched from their station, their discussions ongoing, filled with respect and a new understanding. Humans were not creatures to be underestimated. They were thinkers, survivors, and explorers in the truest sense. Anna glanced at her teammates. Ethan was scanning the data they had collected, his eyes reflecting excitement and relief. Clara monitored the medical readings, noting that Anna's arm was fully healed and the venom neutralized. They had survived the threats of the planet, the venom, and the alien observers. And in doing so, they had proven something important, not just to themselves but to the galaxy. The Odyssey moved further from the planet, and Anna finally allowed herself to relax slightly. She leaned back in her seat, looking at the stars that stretched endlessly above them. Every twinkle was a reminder of the dangers and wonders that awaited humans in the universe. And she knew that humans, with their courage, intelligence, and resilience, could face anything. "Captain," Ethan said softly, "do you ever think about how small we are compared to all this? The planet, the stars, and yet we survived. That's amazing." Anna smiled again, softly and calmly. "That's what makes us human, Ethan. We may be small, but we are strong in ways others cannot measure. We survive, we adapt, we endure. That is why we will always reach further, learn more, and face what others cannot." Clara looked out the viewport, seeing the alien skies fade behind them. "And the Thrillians, they will remember us. They will know that humans are not ordinary. That we survive because of our minds and courage." Anna nodded. "Yes, they will remember. And other species will too. Humans leave a mark not just on worlds, but on the minds of those who see us." As the Odyssey sailed into the quiet of space, Anna allowed herself a small smile. The challenges were not over, but she knew they had proven something vital. Humans were not only survivors, they were remarkable. And the Thrillians, for all their technology and power, had been forced to see that for themselves. She leaned back, looking out at the alien skies fading behind them, her mind calm and her heart steady. Humans had faced the unknown and endured. Humans had adapted. Humans had survived. And that, she knew, was proof of their resilience. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and Anna Wells smiled, ready for whatever lay beyond them.